The following true stories hint at the supernatural. Do not listen to them if you are easily spooked. Story 1. The Man in Black. When I was younger, around about 7 or 8 years old, I experienced what my parents said to be night terrors and sleepwalking. They were such a big part of my life that I can recall exactly what happened. I now believe I was actually astral projecting, which as a child I thought were just dreams. I remember walking to my window and thinking, is this real or not? Will I get hurt? Hesitating then, just jumping and flying and thinking it was a dream. I did this many times because I knew that once I jumped and started to fly, I'd have the best time of my life. I also recall jumping out of bed and running down my corridor in the pitch black as if something was chasing me. I'd then run downstairs to my living room, hide and scream, "It's over there," continuously. But this was not my astral body. This was my physical body. I used to wake my parents up and they'd find me downstairs crying in the corner. My parents said it was sleepwalking, but I was fully aware I was doing this. It did not feel like a dream. I never woke up. I used to see a man at the bottom of my bed wearing a black suit. Could never make out his face, though. But it used to terrify me. I moved out of that house in 2010. I just started high school, and I started to have symptoms of Alice in Wonderland syndrome again, that I hadn't had since I was a child with all these night terrors. I'm older now, and used the internet to see if I could find anything on what I was experiencing. And I did. It's called Alice in Wonderland syndrome. I then found out things like astral projection and chakras, energy and all things spiritual, which interested me so much. About 3 years ago, I got into a relationship with a guy who had quite a very close-minded perception of all this stuff. He didn't believe in any of it. But I never told him about that man I used to see when I was a child. I tried so hard to forget. 2 years passed, and he brings up he had seen a man in a suit at the side of the road on our way home just staring at him. But this was the second time he had seen him. And the first time he brought it up to me, he couldn't make out his face either. So I literally have shivers all over my body and I just don't know what to say. I'm frozen in fear and confusion about what the hell I just heard my boyfriend say to me. Guess I'm not crazy after all. I'm still interested in astral projection and still want to achieve it, but struggle to separate. Sometimes I feel like there's a barrier or something won't let me. It's strange. Last night I tried again and fell asleep instead, but I did dream of the night terror I used to have as a child. I was in my old house and the same presence I felt as a kid was in my dream. Could a bad entity be attached to me? This story was shared by Sophie Oliver. Story 2. Interstellar in Real Life. What I'm about to say is extremely profound to me. I have kept this to myself for many years, and the thoughts and memories I have got from my experiences haunt me from time to time. I have not even shared my experiences with my closest friends or family members because I believe they will think I am crazy, and furthermore, I don't think they will understand me. Me telling my story is my way of self-therapy, and I hope will help others who have maybe had similar experiences. Furthermore, I would like to also acknowledge that I'm from a very conservative family and have never taken drugs in my life. I hope someone reading this will understand me and will read this testimony with an open mind. What I'm saying is 100% true, and I do not care who doesn't believe me. What I merely want is my story to be heard. I hope you all understand. I have always been interested in knowing about the universe. I was determined to learn mathematics and science in order to understand reality itself and to see things in the way they truly are. I would often ponder what exactly reality is, and had come to the conclusion that reality is experience due to time. Time is the fundamental force that propels everything in the universe. Confusion about existence later brought me to a point where I believed I must learn spirituality as well. As a believer of science, it seemed weird for me to look for spiritual answers, however. I wanted to remain open-minded and understand what the ancients understood of reality. And so I began to read and watch many schools of thought. However, the teachings of the Buddha and the works of ancient Hindu sages had really impressed me. Much of their knowledge had been hidden in mythological epics and stories. However, they had profound teachings. One of these teachings was the method of attaining enlightenment. There were many methods, however, the one that lured me was the method of meditation on the third eye. Ancient Hindu sages believed that knowledge not only was attainable externally, but internally as well. The knowledge of the self would bring the ultimate knowledge of reality. Hearing this, I began to meditate on my third eye every day but for some time nothing happened. Despite this, I was determined. I believed it was my duty as a human, the only known intelligent species in the universe, to understand the reason and existence of reality. For many months, I experienced nothing when I closed my eyes except darkness, but one day I saw a blue dot. For weeks, this indigo dot was in my vision as I meditated and even occasionally as I went about my life. I began to focus on it intensely during meditation. As more weeks passed, I began to see changes in the dot, such as a golden ring surrounding it. I focused further, attempting to enter it with my astral body, but was unsuccessful. I tried time and time again, but nothing happened. However, one day I entered a trance state, a state of total peace. I can't describe the level of peace I felt at that moment. It was the most satisfying and calming state of mind I had ever experienced. This trance state lasted for at least 10 minutes, but what I experienced and felt after that was nothing short of nerve-wracking and scary. The dot disappeared, and I was plunged into darkness once again. For a second, I thought all my time practicing meditation was just for a brief period of peace, but then I saw everything. I saw distant planets, galaxies, suns, and soon universes. I saw that there are an infinite number of universes, and within them, I saw our universe's past, present, and future. I saw big bangs happening over and over again in infinity. This revelation had given me the notion that the past, present, and future are constantly happening at the same time in infinity. When one universe is born, another universe was already in that universe's future. Universes were born at the same time while others were born one after the other. However, they all contained the same people, animals, objects, energy, and all that make up our universe. This later gave me the notion that time travel into the future could just be traveling to another universe that was created before ours, and time travel to the past could be traveling to a universe that was created after ours. This would solve the grandfather paradox of time travel in the past, because you are only killing your grandfather in another reality that has nothing to do with the grandfather in our reality. I spent 3 days in my trance, and once I came out of it, I started having severe headaches and unexplained anxiety and depression. I felt as if what I had seen had broken my mind and that I was going to die. I was scared and did not know what to do. My family took me to 2 psychiatrists, and the only thing they did was diagnosed me with severe depression and prescribe me medications. I lived like this for years until recently I had a dream of a lotus resting on a river. Ever since the dream, my anxiety has gone down and my medications have been reduced. I feel much better now. This is my testimony. Believing it or not believing it is up to you. This story was shared by Vaishnavi Selvanayagam.